Oh, wait. Hi.
Yo, what's up?
Yelich is here.
Arian, I got a quick surprise for you. What's up, man?
How's it going, Big T? How's it going? Good to meet
What's
you.
up, man? PFT. Nice to meet you. Have a seat here. I got a little surprise for Arian.
Nice.
Arian, you've recently become a dedicated, diehard Milwaukee Brewers fan.
These are facts.
It's an interesting hat that you're wearing today.
His headphones kicking my ass right
Yeah,
now.
it's okay.
Oh yeah, that's why. Well, this is I went to the Kendrick concert, so I was just repping.
Okay, well, it's interesting we're wearing a Dodgers hat because I wanted to bring a surprise for you. This is Christian Yelich. He plays.
What's poppin', my guy? I'm sorry I don't do the face thing. You know what I'm
you're
saying? I'm
good.
new to this, not true to this. What's up, baby?
What's up, dude?
Welcome back to Nanodosing. It is Tuesday. It's April 29th. Shout out Sublime. April 29th, 1992. There was a riot on the streets. Tell me, where were you?
I had to do. Everybody know that one.
There we go.
Everybody
Everyone knows that one.
Yeah.
Arian just hopped in the chat and immediately started saying, counting my dubs. So right off the bat, Arian, what dubs are we counting today?
Oh, it's just they just one after the other. It just happens, you know. I just wake up, dub,
All right, what's your biggest dub of the day?
eating, drinking coffee,
Okay, that's solid.
dub.
Did you have
Are
any?
you expecting like a real? I was just joking. I don't have nothing lined up for you, man.
No, that's good. Appreciate the small things. Enjoy every sandwich.
yeah, facts.
Love that. Big weekend. And also, right off the bat, we got Arian, we got Big T, we got Mad Dog, then we got Zoopy. We got Zoopy behind the mic.
Yo.
Finally adding a little bit of masculinity to this podcast. Now that she's gone. She's playing golf today.
Wait, who's Zoopy? I've never met Zoopy. Have you met you, Zoopy?
I don't know. What's up?
Zoopy's a friend.
Okay, so what's up? Well, hi, Zoopy. What's up with you, bro?
I'm chilling. Excited about the draft. Happy to be here. Love macrodosing. Love all of you guys.
Who's your squad?
Browns.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a Brown.
Shedeur.
Yeah.
Donald Trump got Shedeur drafted by the Browns. Yeah. Pretty incredible stuff. It was not but a matter of several hours after our president tweeted out that somebody needs to take Shedeur. He comes from phenomenal genes.
Phenomenal genes.
I think he may have tweeted that like Friday morning.
Yeah,
I think that was just after he didn't go in the first round.
Trump might have been more upset about Shedeur sliding the Mel Kiper.
I don't know about that.
That Mel Kiper was on one, bro.
Yeah, he was fired up. So I'm trying to find the Trump tweet. Can you pull that up, Big T?
Yeah, I'm looking for it.
So yeah, Shedeur is a Brown. You guys got all the quarterbacks now. You got Deshaun, Flacco.
Yep.
You got Dylan Gabriel,
Yep.
Kenny Pickett,
Yep.
Shedeur Sanders.
Yep.
How do you guys feel about Shedeur, Browns fans?
I feel
You're
good.
happy.
I mean, you get them for free. I think if you showed people sort of just our draft as a whole at the beginning of it rather than at the end, people would say, whoa, that's a really good draft. But just the way that Shedeur slid made things feel a little awkward, especially because the pick right before was also a quarterback. So it just feels a little weird. But, I mean, if he sucks, you got him for free. So I don't have a problem with it. I think it's a high ceiling type of pick. And, like, if he sucks, who cares?
Do you think that he's going to be let's fast forward to the end of training camp. Is he number 2? Is he number 3? Is he number 1?
I have a question. Is Deshaun in that at all or no?
Yeah,
No.
I guess technically he's in it, right?
He re-ruptured his Achilles.
So he's out this season, too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he probably will not see the football field at all. I don't know. I think Shedeur's got a serious shot that he could be one, but you have two guys who have more experience there. So, I mean, Pickett or Flacco, who knows? I saw a meme where it was sort of like the Dark Knight scene where the Joker just tosses down a pool stick and is like, okay, go at it. That's kind of what the Browns quarterback feels like.
That's funny.
Yeah, just eat
That's
each other
funny.
alive. Who cares?
Yeah, it is. I think it's just going to be open competition every single day. So Trump said, what is wrong with NFL owners? Are they stupid? Deion Sanders was a great college football player and was even greater in the NFL. He's also a very good coach, streetwise and smart. Therefore, Shedeur, his quarterback son, has phenomenal genes and is all set for greatness. He should be, quote, picked, end quote, immediately by a team that wants to win. Good luck, Shedeur, and say hello to your wonderful father. Deion Sanders, streetwise, phenomenal genes.
Quote
That's
picked
it.
is my favorite part.
Yeah, quote, picked. So I guess Mel Kiper also had a complete meltdown during the NFL draft. He was upset. He was saying that the NFL has had an abysmal track record. They have no idea what they're doing when it comes to selecting quarterbacks for the last, 50 years?
Yeah, the NFL has been clueless about quarterbacks for 50 years.
So let's go. Me and Big T did a little bit of this earlier, Aaron, but you chime in as well. The best quarterbacks of the last 50 years. Who would you say they are? Tom Brady would probably be the best, or the
50
greatest.
years?
Yeah, Tom Brady I'd have number one. Now, he has a fair claim when it comes to Tom Brady because he was taken in the 6th round, so that's fair.
Wait, you said what is the premise of what we're saying? How are we naming them? Just random?
The best.
Top 50?
Just the best quarterbacks in the NFL in the last 50 years.
Oh, okay. You got Peyton. You got Aaron
First
Rodgers,
overall,
you got
first round,
Drew Brees.
2nd round.
You got let's see,
John Elway.
John Elway.
First round.
Damn, see, we're getting there. John Elway.
Reno.
Dan Marino.
First round.
Mahomes.
Mahomes.
Are you looking for later round picks? Is that
No, we're saying of all the best quarterbacks, almost universally they were drafted in the first round, if not the top 10, 5.
Yeah, I would say there's more first round Hall of Fame quarterbacks than not.
There
Just off
are
the top of my head.
exceptions, obviously. There's some guys that slid a little bit, like Tom Brady. But for the most part, like even Mahomes, he was obviously underdrafted, but he was still a first-round pick. You have Troy Aikman, who I think was first overall.
Yeah, he went to UCLA.
Yep. So if you just go down the list, I don't know that you can say that the NFL is clueless when it comes to evaluating quarterbacks. I would think that if there was a guy that was better at it than others, that person would be very successful, good at his job, and then other people would learn from that guy, which is kind of what has happened. So who knows what's going to happen with Shedeur. Now, I think that if Shedeur didn't go in the first 2 rounds, what happened was that was a pretty high likelihood because Shedeur, he's the guy that you would draft with the idea that he would work his way into being a starter because you might not want to have Shedeur Sanders and the looming specter of Deion in the background for your 3rd-string quarterback. I think that's kind of a fair thing to say.
Wow, I was just going over all these first round quarterback draft picks. You just forget these names after some years, right? Drew Bledsoe, Rick Myrer, remember him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We got I was gonna name some of these off, man. Gus Frerotte, Trent Dilfer, Heath Schuler,
Yep.
Shout out.
Congressman.
Kerry Collins, Steve McNair, Cordell Stewart.
Harry
No,
Collins.
he was second.
He did.
He was second round. Oh, this is the round that was picked in. No? What is this? I thought it was first round. Yeah, those were the rounds. Never mind. Oh, they have the year and the quarterback. Okay. Nope. Forget I said all of that.
How many quarterbacks outside the first round have won a Super Bowl in the last 20 years?
Great question. Don't
I don't
answer.
think that is a great question.
Oh, embrace debate.
Oh, I think it is.
Zupi, is that a great question?
That is a good question.
He said good.
Okay.
All right, should we say first 2 rounds? Because that's at that point, that's where I think that you can make the argument that the NFL is clueless.
Okay.
If they
So
fall-
obviously you have Tom Brady.
Yep.
I don't believe Nick Foles was taken in the first 2 rounds.
I don't believe he was either. I want to say 5th.
Let's keep thinking.
3rd round.
Was
Foles.
Russell Wilson 3rd round?
I believe
Yeah, he was third round. Wisconsin. I remember that. I used to be a sports guy, man. That's why Jeff's trivia game be fucking me up because he does like right when I retired. That's like his bag, and I don't know shit about what happened.
Well, I think he like for each team he does the years that like those people would know, so he kind of threads it between you and me.
Yeah.
So that's why they're always like that era-ish. Is that it? Are there any others?
I know. I think there was a time for like almost 15, 20 years where it was either Peyton Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, or Tom Brady that had won a Super Bowl or some shit like it was something crazy.
Won the
Or stuff like-
AFC. Yeah.
Is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so go.
Kurt Warner, if you go back to that.
Yep, there's another one.
Another one.
2000. You want the year?
Give me a 5-year window.
Okay, it was between 2000 and 2005.
Rich Gannon.
Nope, didn't win.
Oh, that's right. We lost to the Bucks. I'm bugging.
And it's other than Warner.
Yep. What'd you just say, Aaron?
We lost to the Bucks.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't remember their quarterback though. It was
coach was John Gruden.
Don't tell me.
Okay.
Is it? No. Is it?
I can see the guy.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. What number was he?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know what he wore on the Bucks. Not off the top of my head.
Oh no. Brad Johnson.
Yep.
Yeah.
That Brad.
Good call.
Yeah.
So yeah, just I'm looking at.
He had one of the worst face masks
Yeah,
of all time. That face mask is so ass, dog. I used to hate that shit.
yeah, it's a bad face mask.
Horrible face mask.
All right, going through the list.
Him and Thurman Thomas. Thurman Thomas, I'd say that's the number one worst face mask of all time. And then we go Brad Johnson.
I always like the middle bar ones. Those things are cool.
That shit is ass for a running back, dog. It's right in your field of vision. Why would you pick that?
Yeah. All right, so going back through the list, is the NFL abysmal at drafting quarterbacks? Super Bowl winners: Jalen Hurts, 2nd round pick. Mahomes, 1st round pick. Matthew Stafford, 1st round pick. Tom Brady, 6th round pick. Valid point. Mahomes, 1st round pick. Brady, 6th round pick. Nick Foles, 3rd round pick. Valid. Brady, Peyton Manning, 1st round pick. Brady, Russell Wilson, 3rd round pick. Joe Flacco, 1st round. Eli Manning, 1st round. Aaron Rodgers, 1st round. Drew Brees, 2nd round. Ben Roethlisberger, 1st round. Eli, 1st round. Peyton, 1st round. Ben, 1st round. Then Brady, Brad, Brady. That's a little 1, 2, 3, 4-year stretch where it was all players drafted 6th round or later.
But also that's the outlier of all outliers.
Correct. And then Trent Dilfer, we already established, 1st round pick. Kurt Warner, valid. Elway, Favre, Aikman, Steve Young. I'd say overall, the vast majority of Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, and just good quarterbacks in the league too, because you have
This is why it
Phillip
wasn't a good
Rivers.
question, though. You said Trent Dilfer. He's not the reason they went to the Super Bowl.
Correct. Yeah.
Well, he wasn't part of the question. He was a 1st round pick.
That's why. No, I'm saying that's why it's a bad question. It's a bad question.
Well, again,
Right.
that's another outlier, though.
What I'm doing here, Aaron, and you
No,
you
I don't
astutely
think it is.
picked up
That's
on
why-
this. I'm using
I know what you're doing.
I'm
I
using
know what
Super
you're
Bowl
doing.
champions as shorthand for good quarterbacks.
I understand. Yeah, I understand. And that's why I don't think it's a good question. Because I think I still agree with your premise. I just don't think it's a good question. Because I think the question is there's too many variables to see to go into like what does and doesn't win games and to evaluate if it's a good quarterback or not. Dan Marino never won a Super Bowl. I would argue he was probably top 2, 3 quarterbacks of all time. You know what I mean? And I don't think Mel Kiper's accurate and say that the NFL doesn't know what they're doing when they measuring quarterbacks. I think that's the one position where they do know what they're looking at.
I think so too, because a better way to do this would be who are the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now at this given moment. Who are they? I would say you have to.
Now that's a good question.
Thank you. You have to put Mahomes number 1,
Easily.
1st round pick. Josh Allen, probably number 2, 1st round pick.
I would go Lamar.
Well, he's a 1st round pick as well.
1st round
so-
pick.
Yeah.
Then after that, you would do some combination.
Oh, by the way, real quick,
Yep.
Josh Allen was on Grant Horvat's golf channel, dog, and was balling. I don't know if you saw that.
He's good.
He was balling, man. He was balling. Shout out to that was entertaining to watch. So that was dope. Shout out to him. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, sir. Go ahead.
Joe Burrow, 1st round pick.
Jaden Daniels, huh?
1st round pick. I just love hearing his
That's
name
up there.
in that conversation. What?
That was high up there.
Yeah.
Jared Goff.
Jared Goff, 1st pick. Jalen Hurts, 2nd round pick. Baker Mayfield, would he be in that next tier?
Probably.
Either way, he's 1st round.
1st round pick.
Michael Penix.
Justin Herbert, 1st round
Michael
pick.
Penix.
First round.
Kyler Murray.
First round pick. I don't know. I guess
That-
maybe a little
that's
too
That's
early.
high. That's high.
I would there is a big outlier in there, and that's Brock Purdy, who is literally the last pick of the draft.
Sure, but we also, I'd like to see him on another team.
Yeah. I mean, you might start to be putting Sam Darnold in this tier, just based on
Sure.
how he played last year.
Sure.
First round pick. It's almost exclusively first round pick. So I don't know that Mel Kiper, he seemed emotionally involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little charged. It was a little like, you all right, bro?
I mean, Reese Davis had to talk him off a ledge.
I mean, I saw that from the entire internet though, right? And then once like I guess race Twitter gets involved, like then it gets out of control, right? And so I think the macro tweeted out this morning. Like I didn't think he was a first round pick in last year, September, right? It has nothing to do with any of the shit outside of the shit in between the lines. I think he's an average quarterback. I don't think I think he has an eye arm. Like I think he's okay. I don't know that I see him as a starter. Now, what he does from here on out, that's on him. If this man trains like an insane man, you can change your game while in the NFL. I've seen that happen. That could be possible. As I see it now, that's how I see it. But the entirety of Twitter took this shit and ran. It started with that he's being blackballed because of his dad. I'm like, hold on, man. Like I'm all for the systemic injustices. Sign me up when they're there. I don't know, man. You had a black quarterback go number 1 overall, dog. I don't think it's had anything to do with it. But I will say this, right? I feel like his bravado don't match his game.
Yeah.
And that becomes a problem. Like if Cam Ward has the bravado of a Shedeur, I think it's a different conversation being had. Maybe he falls from 1 to 5, right?
Yeah. Race is always going to be around the conversation, especially about a quarterback. And there's a lot of reasons for that. I'm not ready to say that the NFL has completely moved on from judging black and white quarterbacks differently. I think that if you can win football games, I think it's come a long way.
Absolutely.
In the last like 20, 30 years, a very, very long way, because it wasn't just about necessarily the NFL evaluating guys from college, but it was more about at the junior level, like even going back to middle school and high school, where if you had an insanely athletic black player, coaches would be a million times more likely to put that player at wide receiver or at running back.
Great point.
As opposed to having that kid learn how to play the quarterback position growing up through high school and playing that position into college. Because once you got there, you'd see players like McNabb, or you'd see players like Mike Vick or Steve McNair, players that you could very easily demonstrate that they were good quarterbacks, and the NFL would draft them because they would help them win football games. So
Yes.
It's not necessarily about NFL head coaches being like, I don't want the black guy playing quarterback. It was more along the lines of there weren't as many black quarterbacks because of the youth level.
Well, true, but and so that's why I don't want like some spare word to take my talking points and be like, see, no, the injustices is why there was not a lot of black quarterbacks stemmed from racism. Like, don't ever get that twisted. Like how, like you said, how they evaluate black athletes versus white athletes to this day, you can see there's still a little bit of, there's a hint of some bias and some judgment, right? So they used to, if you talk to old black quarterbacks, go talk to Warren Moon, go talk to like these older black quarterbacks, Randall Cunningham, and they used to tell you like they used to think that black players weren't smart enough to be a quarterback, and that's why they put them out at wide receiver. This was a thing. So the history of football is draped with American racism. So don't take my talking points. I'm just saying for this instance, I don't think I had anything to do with Shedeur and his antics or anything. I just don't think they think he's a solid, like a number 1 draft pick. I just don't think it's there.
Yeah. The one time that recently I think it was a valid point was when Lamar was getting drafted, and then Bill Polian was like, I don't see him as I'd like to see him work out at a wide receiver position.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, it still happens.
But Bill Polian is like he's an old school football guy.
You see a white dude who's nice, right? Like a DN or something, and what do they say? It's a high motor guy, try hard guy,
I would
never
never
gives
say
up on a
anything like
play, real smart, high football IQ. That's what
First
they
in,
say.
last out.
Mhm. Tough.
Yep. Yeah, it's
He's
still
the kind of
prevalent,
guy
though.
you'd like to date your daughter.
Coach's son
Coach's
type.
son. Not like Shedeur. This guy's a coach's son.
Doesn't show up with all his jewelry and his cavalry, his entourage, head ass.
Did somebody get in trouble for using the P word posse a few years
That
ago?
That was is that Pat Riley?
It could be. Was it what? Was it like LeBron who got mad?
It was LeBron because they were saying he had a posse when it was they were his friends, but they were all his business associates, right? So like Mav Carter and like all these cats who handle all his like outside endeavors. And he said because he had a posse, I'm paraphrasing, but he said something about a posse. But they go, and that's the thing, it's a posse when a black man has that's the implications anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, it was Phil Jackson.
Well,
Phil Jackson said
Wait,
that?
wait.
No way Phil Jackson said that.
No, it was Pat Riley. So what is this
That's what I thought. Yeah, Phil Jackson is like the Zen of all Zen, dog. There's no way.
article that's Phil Jackson and his problematic use of the word posse.
okay.
So did he use it too?
He might have.
I don't know that. I don't know that.
Yeah.
Damn, I never. And
Phil Jackson did it too.
to what? To what? What was the reference? Because
It was also a
damn, don't make me hate Phil Jackson.
because here's a Magic Johnson tweet from November 16th, 2016. Phil Jackson made one small mistake by using the word posse.
I need to hear the context. Phil Jackson that's my guy.
If we're gonna call out racism, Arian, though, we got to do it on both sides. How
Not
about
Phil Jackson.
how about all the young white players that are steered to the position of quarterback, or general manager, or head coach, or offensive coordinator?
Oh, you can get into a deeper conversation.
We're getting typecast. I don't like it.
Nah, Cooper DeJean, that's y'all boy.
That is
Ride
true. That is true. The Jackie Robinson of the NFL. Now there was the prank call that was made to Shedeur on draft day. I still haven't brought myself to watch it because I know what the video is. I know who did it. I know how they got the number. I know every detail about the video.
How did they get the number?
It was Jax Ulbrich, who is Jeff Ulbrich's son. Jeff Ulbrich is the defense coordinator for Big T's beloved Atlanta Falcons.
Right.
So this might be a systemic issue with the Falcons organization.
Sure.
But
Well, the systemic issue is that whatever crazy shit is going to happen in the NFL draft, it will involve the Falcons. That's the systemic issue.
some way, shape, or form. So I still haven't watched the video because I can't. It just seems too cringy. I don't want to see the prank call. Like, prank calls are funny sometimes to listen to. I grew up on the Jerky Boys. You probably don't know the Jerky Boys, do you?
I do not.
Does anybody know the Jerky Boys?
Mm.
God damn. All right. Well, then in the 1990s,
It's not an age thing because I don't know what they are, bro.
making a prank call was the height of comedy in like 1993. And the Jerky Boys were a bunch of guys that did different voices, and they would call up places, pretend to be people, and fuck with the people on the other line. They would record these calls and then release an album of crank calls. And every kid
And then you went and bought the album?
Yes.
At like a store?
at a store, yeah, and be like, "Did
This is
you get the new Jerky
Yeah.
Boys album, dude? The one
I
at the
remember.
Chinese restaurant is so funny."
that's insane. You went,
Yeah.
you drove to a store
Yep.
to go buy a record,
Well, no, first not a record, Big T.
a CD.
I think these were mostly on cassettes, but
Okay,
yeah.
so even older than
But you're leaving out an important step. You would first call. You would look up the record store's number in the phone book,
right.
and then
Make sure they had it
you would call the record store from your house to make sure they had a copy in
on
stock.
a phone that was attached to the wall.
Correct. And then you'd get in your car. You'd memorize how to get to the record
Right.
store.
Yeah.
Maybe look at a map. Then you drive to the store, go up to the counter, and be like, "Hey, do you have the new Jerky Boys tape?" And they'd be like, "Yeah, we got one left. Here you go." And then you go home. You might listen to it in your car on the way back, but then you'd get like the boys over, have a little listening party for the Jerky Boys new tape that just dropped.
How long could an album of prank calls be?
I'm looking up the Jerky Boys Wikipedia right now because I haven't thought about them for years. They're from Queens. The duo was founded in 1989 by childhood friends Johnny Brennan and Kamal Ahmed. Ahmed left the Jerky Boys in 2000, but then they continued as a solo act. before going on a 19-year hiatus. So they started making prank phone calls in the 70s.
Damn.
They made bootleg tapes. The Jerky Boys gained notoriety from being on the Howard Stern show. They dropped their first album in 1993. It topped the Billboard Heat Seekers chart and was certified platinum.
That's lit.
Then they dropped the Jerky Boys 2 in 94. That went platinum. Jerky Boys 3 in 1996. Jerky Boys 4 in 1997. Yeah, they were hot.
I see this guy tweeted, speaking of prank calls, did anyone else grow up listening to the Jerky Boys? I can still remember most of them, but Terrorist Pizza was among the best. You familiar with Terrorist?
Terrorist Pizza, I am familiar with Terrorist Pizza. And it was just mostly about saying fuck on the phone.
Got it.
Like saying fuck on the phone was so fucking.
And this is what you would gather with people to listen to this.
Yeah, this would, for me and my friends, this would be, we would put Weird Al on earlier in the night.
Okay.
And then
To set the mood.
And then after the parents go to bed, then you pop on the Jerky Boys.
Right.
Because that's when it gets R-rated after dark. Weird Al was just good, clean fun.
There was good comedy in the 90s. You didn't have to listen to this.
Yeah, but it was mind-blowing, though, Big T. Nobody was doing this shit.
Yeah, I guess so.
See, that's what comedy does. It just kind of fades into the background once it gets established. And then you're like, oh, I can't believe we used to think this was funny. Nobody was cussing on the phone.
These guys
And
were
certainly
bucking
not
the system.
reporting it. They were edgy.
I'm gonna keep it a bean. PFT. That shit was ass.
Yeah, listen, it doesn't hold up. Jerky Boys don't hold up.
Reminds me of Eminem lyrics.
Uh-huh.
Like when they came out, that shit, it was edgy. You know, it was like, oh, this is that new, you know what I mean? Woo! You listen to that shit now, like you want to stuff your mom in the back of a truck or a trunk. Like, all right, G.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong. Great lyricist. Don't get me wrong. I don't want all you spare words in my mentions. I love Eminem.
people got very upset about the prank call to Shedeur, which I kind of agree. Like, it's a fucked up thing to do.
It is fucked up, but it'll be all right.
Yeah, he'll be okay. Shedeur's going to be fine. He seemed to take it and handle it okay.
Yeah, I like that. You know what I'm saying? Throughout the whole thing, he was vibing. You know, it is what it is. Like he could have had a meltdown publicly to mentally be in your mind. I'm about to be selected in the first round of the NFL draft and slide into the fifth. That is a wild thing that I don't think I can relate to. So like he took that in stride. So shout out to him, you know, for that.
I do think that Dion probably bears some level of responsibility for setting the expectation to his own son that he was going to be drafted in the first round. I think he said he was going to go top 5. And then obviously the big draft party that he threw, the expectation did not meet reality. And there were a lot of things that Shedeur did not participate in leading up to the draft that probably scared away some teams that would have considered taking him in the second round or the third round. Like not practicing at the Shrine Bowl, not doing certain workouts. It was
Shrine Bowl.
Yeah.
Senior Bowl.
No, I think he got the invite to the Shrine Bowl.
I thought that was for the seniors.
Well, I know the Senior Bowl now. It's not just seniors. It can.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it was the Shrine Bowl. So he opted out of doing the workouts and the practices, and I feel like that might have spooked some people off. But again, that was from, I would imagine that Dion was given some advice on how to handle that whole process.
Also, yeah, he played 4 years.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Was his second year at Colorado. I think he played 2 years at Jackson State, right?
I believe so, yeah. Because Travis Hunter played 1 year there, and Shedeur was there a year before him.
Yeah, but then Travis Hunter going second overall, the Jaguars moved up, got their guy, and the GM for the Jaguars absolutely loves him. So he's going to change the sport of football because of his mentality.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it'd be great. I'm hoping that he works out for Jacksonville, because he's just a fun player to watch. I'm excited to watch him and see what he does. I feel like the Jaguars might get some primetime games. Just
might do too much fishing down there, though.
That is true. I didn't think about that.
Loves to fish,
dude. This is what I like about Travis Hunter. He could be the flashiest guy. He could be Dion reincarnated. He just goes out there, plays football, and then he goes home and like plays video games and fishes.
Yeah,
seems like a cool guy. So yeah, the son of Jeff Ulbrich, Jax Ulbrich, said on Friday night, I made a tremendous mistake. Shedeur, what I did was completely inexcusable, embarrassing, and shameful. I'm so sorry it took away from your moment. It was selfish and childish. I could never imagine getting ready to celebrate one of the greatest moments of your life. I made a terrible mistake and messed with that moment. Thank you for accepting my call earlier today. I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me. So
that is a shitty fucking thing to do, though. What
Yeah.
a shitty thing to do.
yeah, he apparently did it to, well, we don't know if it was the same guys, but somebody prank called Tyler Warren.
And somebody else I saw. There's another one.
I heard that Cooper DeJean got a prank call last year.
Yep.
Not sure if it's from these same guys. But yeah, so that's Shedeur talk. Anything else from the draft we want to get to?
Best thing that ever happened to Jalen Milroe was Shedeur Sanders because he showed up to the draft like he was going to be selected in the first round.
Yeah.
That did not happen.
No.
Jalen Miro did?
Oh,
He
He was at the draft in Green Bay like he was going to go in the first round.
Was he there? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was there.
Why he do that?
I don't know, but nobody's ever going to remember because Shedeur went to the 5th round.
That is
Where did Miro end up going?
Seattle.
Seattle, I believe, in the 3rd round.
Ooh. Hey,
Also, he said that they told him when he visited there he was the best quarterback in the draft. And then they asked the coach and GM about that, and they were like, we didn't actually say that.
I mean, he said, she said, but keep your eyes out for that young man. If I always said, if he gets some coaching, dog, he could be a solid player.
You don't need to keep your eyes out.
We're going to get back to macrodosing in a second. It's brought to you by Game Time. Game Time. Big T, can you look up tickets to get into the Capitals Canadiens Game 5 in Washington, D.C.? I believe is that tomorrow on Tuesday? Today?
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Okay. Wednesday, Caps Canadiens. The NHL playoffs are here. I was lucky enough to get to go experience the Bell Center in Montreal on Friday night. And holy shit, that place is incredible. Incredible arena. Loudest fans, loudest stadium I've ever been in. Once in a lifetime opportunity. So shout out Game Time for getting myself, Pug, and Oldie into the barn for that one. The NHL playoffs are the only place to buy hard to get playoff tickets. The only place to buy those tickets is Game Time. They're the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. They've got the last minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and the low price guarantee. They take the guesswork out of buying NHL playoff tickets. Prices on the app go down the closer it gets to puck drop. You can save up to 60% when buying last minute tickets. If you're looking to get into the arena for Caps Canadiens on Wednesday, what's the get-in price there, Big T?
$99.
$99, not bad. Maybe see a closeout game. Maybe, I don't know if DC Washington is going to be singing the national anthem. Are you familiar with that guy?
I'm not.
So there's this guy, incredible voice. His name is actually DC Washington. He lives in Washington, and he sings the national anthem before a bunch of important games.
That's sick.
It's pretty cool, right? So good luck to all you guys if you're planning on watching NHL hockey in the playoffs. Get your tickets on Game Time. Download the app, create an account, use code MACRO, get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Create an account, redeem code MACRO, get $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. What time is it? Game Time. Not on Big T sheet today, but I wanted to address it because it's happening this morning. The Commanders are going back to D.C. to RFK Stadium, the site of their old stadium from, I guess, the 70s until the late 90s. Iconic venue, great place to put a stadium. I'm so pumped that they were able to get this done because for the longest time it seemed like it was never going to happen. You have to go through all these different steps and red tape to make the federal government give the rights of it to the city and the city be able to lease it out. It's a huge hairball, and it actually got solved somehow. So we're going back there. The stadium renderings that they dropped look incredible with like a glass roof, a glass dome on it. So hopefully get a Super Bowl, hopefully get, big concerts and stuff coming back to the city. It's going to be great for Washington, D.C., so I'm very, very excited about that. I had an idea because there was some people that were talking about tailgating, how tailgating might be hard to pull off there because they might not have the space for it. They will have access to the metro. It's going to be running in and out of – there's a metro stop there that they can drop you off at. How sick would it be if on Sundays for home games they turned one of the trains or maybe two of the trains in the metro to like a giant bar or a giant smoker and just pulled up outside the stadium and parked, and you could tailgate at the train.
That'd be sick.
That would rock, right?
Also, my favorite public transit in America.
Is it really?
DC Metro. Yeah. Stations are clean. The ceilings are like the stations are beautiful.
Yeah.
It's
Especially the ones in the downtown area.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a not bad experience.
It does catch on fire every now and again.
Okay.
But besides that, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, you're comparing it to, the New York subway and Chicago and stuff like that. So it's a low bar to clear.
Yep. It does seem, a lot of the major stations seem like almost thoughtful in the way they designed them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would like to see that. I would also like to see one portion of the stadium put on hydraulics so that it bounces up and down when the fans jump up and down, because that's what it used to be like back in the day. But that wasn't by design. That was just because they had flimsy architecture. And so the stands would actually rock up and down. Put in some hydraulics. Let it bounce.
How many years is it going to be until there are no more outdoor stadiums in the NFL?
Good question.
Because it's coming.
Well, I'm trying to think of the recent stadiums, the recently built stadiums that are outside. The Bills are building an outdoor stadium,
Which is
right now,
insane.
which is crazy. I love it. But I would say until the end of that stadium, you can start the clock on it. So probably, 20 years, 25 years,
Yeah.
30 years?
Because every other one that's being built or has been built in the last 10 years has a roof.
I don't know that they'll ever put a dome on Lambeau.
True. But they'll never tear that down either.
Correct. So Lambeau would be the other one. Seattle has I guess it's a relatively new stadium,
It's been there a little while.
but I don't know that Seattle wants to put a roof up.
Yeah, maybe not. But everyone who doesn't want to use like weather to their advantage, I guess,
Yeah.
is doing it. At minimum retractable.
The Niners, they have a pretty new stadium.
Yeah.
But I could see the Niners at some point becoming a dome team.
But starting with
Well,
like
maybe not, because San Francisco, they already get Super Bowls. So
Right.
it's not like they have to have a dome to get a Super Bowl.
yeah. Starting with like the Falcons' new stadium, everyone since then.
Yeah.
Vikings, dome. Titans' new one is a dome. Commanders' new one is a dome.
I'm old school, man. Football supposed to be played outside.
I agree.
Hate it.
Is a large portion of your opinion on that turf, or does that have nothing to do with it?
No, but you could throw that in there. I think football should be played outside. I've never been a fan of dome stadiums. Like, I've never seen a dome stadium and been like, this is amazing. Even like I went my first with the Cowboys. Like, it's a cool ass screen, but it's stupid. Play outside.
Yeah, with the little windows that let the sun in. No, and
That's the worst though, dog. I remember like turning back for a little flat route and I couldn't see shit. Like, I literally lost sight of the ball.
Why
Couldn't
did
see it.
they build that way?
I have no idea.
That
Zero idea.
and fucking driving ranges. There is no driving range in America that should be built from east to west. That is just stupid. All driving ranges should be north to south facing. It makes no sense. 8 a.m. driving ranges where you dead into the sun, stupid. Sunset right into the fucking sun, stupid. Just, that's not smart. Stupid.
I agree. Get a compass out. I think that if we were to make a prediction on the next stadium to be put under a dome, I would say Charlotte, Bank of America Stadium.
Why?
It's an older stadium. I think it debuted in sometime 1996. So it's kind of an older stadium. I could see Charlotte wanting to host a Super Bowl at some point, or asking for it. And in order to do that, I think they would have to have a dome. I could see Charlotte doing it. I don't think Pittsburgh ever will.
Probably not.
Cleveland has already announced that they're going to be building a dome stadium. The house that Shedeur built.
Is the Bears, whenever they build a new one, is that going to be a dome?
I think so, yeah, because they want to have a Super Bowl here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say, but they've already kind of had discussions about that. I haven't heard anything about Charlotte. But yeah, everyone's just going to get domed up.
I have a question about the Super Bowl thing.
Mhm.
So you were there for the Minneapolis Super Bowl when
Yep.
it was like freezing outside, but then it's just in a dome.
Mhm.
Like, I feel like also it's still being freezing in the middle of February outside still makes it kind of miserable to have a Super Bowl in a cold city. Like
Yep.
Cleveland having a Super Bowl, it will still be miserable because it's February in Ohio.
Yep.
Cleveland's not having a Super Bowl.
That's why they're gonna build that, Arian. But like that's like the Minneapolis one. I'm sure you guys had fun, but it was like New Orleans, it's sunny and 75, and you're walking around.
Yep.
Like it'll still be 20 degrees. It's just gonna be covered on the inside.
Yeah, and then everyone's going to complain, and then they just won't go back.
I remember when Indianapolis had a Super Bowl. That shit was horrible. It was just bad. Everything was bad.
But you can at least get around inside in Indy, in the downtown area. There's a lot of stuff that's connected.
Don't they have those tunnels in
It's
Indy?
cold though.
Yeah, tunnels, skyways. They do the same thing in Minnesota, but it was too cold in Minnesota.
Right. Like I feel like even if you have a dome, like it's not as fun to have it in a cold place.
The craziest was New York.
Yeah.
They built a stadium without a dome in New York, got a Super Bowl. The weather sucked. Everybody was pissed off all week. I don't think they're going to go back. But I do think that Washington will get a I think it might be like year 1 or year 2 of the stadium being opened that they get a Super Bowl, because Goodell, he kind of grew up in DC. So I think he's going to kick back. Do we know what's the next do we know the runway for the next Super Bowls?
I can tell you.
I want to say San Francisco might be next.
I believe it is.
And then after that,
Okay, so 2026 is San Francisco, 2027 is LA, and then 2028 is Atlanta.
okay. I predict 2029 will be a Florida, somewhere in Florida. And then 2030, they wouldn't put it in the first year because they don't know for a fact it's going to be ready. So I'm going to go back to Vegas in 2030, 2031, Washington, D.C. So that'll be fun. I'm pumped about it.
And you guys might be in it.
You never know. You never know.
Would you rather, if I told you right now, the Commanders could win the Super Bowl next year, or wait
Next year?
until the first year of the new stadium and you win it in on the site of RFK Stadium?
Next year. Give it to me now.
Okay.
Give it to me now. All right.
Banger tweet, by the way.
What?
Loved it. RFK Jr.
They should call it RFK Jr.
Shit's funny, man.
Should sing the national anthem.
Hey, you're a funny guy.
Funny like a clown.
No, I don't really find clowns funny, actually.
I agree. Clowns are not funny.
I'm not a clown.
Mm-mm.
I've never laughed to a clown like the pie in the face. The Jerky Boys are way funnier than clowns.
They're
Honestly, kind of same vibe. Like, ha ha ha, funny accent,
You just don't get.
pie in the face,
You don't-
honk. Same kind of vibe, bro.
You're
Not
saying
funny.
fuck. They said fuck on the phone. It's a
I
big,
don't know, man. You know what I did listen to back in the day? Adam Sandler came out with a like a comedy album, joke. That shit was kind of. Well, I remember it being funny. I don't know how it is now.
yeah,
And he used to pretend to be a goat. Remember that?
yeah.
And he was, oh, you fucking who is that thing, man? When he was playing football with somebody.
Yeah.
I forget about that shit. Damn, that shit just brought back a wave of memory.
It's just a skit where he was like, "Oh shit, the old man's coming out. You gotta drinking and beating the fuck out of me tomorrow."
Yeah.
This was just a goat. Adam Sandler was a goat, and he had like a drunk owner, and the drunk owner would come out and just abuse the goat and then leave, and that was the entire skit. It was so funny.
Yeah, those were the days. Poverty and Adam Sandler
Yeah.
comedy skits.
All right. There's a debate that everyone's talking about, and I want to get Big T and Arian to weigh in on this. Also, Zoopy and Mad Dog, if you have any opinions on this. Arian, can you read the tweet?
Let me pull it up.
Okay. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I think I do.
I can't read the tweet.
Yeah.
I don't even think I can read like physically.
Yeah, so this
look at it
started
for
on
too
Black
long.
Twitter and then ballooned. It's dude, shout out to Dream Chasing and Mike. Shout out to you, cuz you started a global conversation.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I think 100 niggas could beat one gorilla. Everybody just got to be dedicated to this shit. And this shit took off like wildfire.
Yeah.
Now I assume when he say niggas, he's just talking about humans, right? I do the same thing. Guilty of the same thing. So I'm thinking he's thinking like 100 well-trained athletic human beings. And in my personal opinion, ain't a fucking chance in hell.
Really?
What?
Ain't no fucking way, dog.
100.
I don't think y'all understand how strong gorillas are, dog.
I 100% do now. And when he says they're
No, I don't think you do.
listen, 12 to 25 people are gonna die. So you have to be okay with that going in. You have to have 100 guys that are willing to die. But if that's the case, 100 people will absolutely overwhelm a gorilla.
Yeah.
100.
I think it's way less than 100.
I think so too.
Y'all are fucking
I think
insane.
75.
Okay, let's talk about this. How many people can a gorilla kill at once?
I was just gonna say, you don't understand how thick gorilla skin is. You can punch it as hard as you can, and it ain't gonna do a fucking thing to it. So 100 of you ain't gonna touch this fucking thing.
Guys holding the arm, and then you got a guy jumping on it and just snap.
5 guys cannot hold a gorilla arm.
All right, 10. We've got
10 guys cannot hold a
Guys
gorilla
can
arm.
absolutely
You guys
hold
hold
a gorilla
one arm.
Also,
Y'all are bugging. Y'all, bro, I think a gorilla can compress like 2,000 pounds.
Let me see.
I think that you get people
What
in the
is
arms.
insane?
underestimating 100.
Yeah, and all
Matter of fact, I think gorillas
don't
have a stronger bite force than like an alligator.
Probably.
I think they have some of the strongest bite force in the animal kingdom. I
but
think.
guys are going to get their heads ripped off. That's going to happen.
Okay,
Oh,
I am looking into Arian's opinion because I did look up how much weight can a gorilla compress, and it does say 10
opinion.
times their body weight, so they can lift up to 1.5 to 2 tons.
Yeah, so that's not an opinion, Maddie. It's not Arian's opinion. It's Arian's fact that he relayed to you.
Yes.
I don't
Okay?
think you know
Yeah.
what the word dedicated means. Like 100
I
humans
do.
that are dedicated to the shit.
I
So
do.
you get some dedicated dudes that are holding down the gorilla arms. You go for the eyes right off the bat. You take a gorilla's eyes out, then that number goes down to like 5.
Pragmatically, when the first 2 or 3 guys approach the gorilla, how are they getting his arm? Like, explain that to me.
You just got swarmed.
All 100 are going at once.
Yeah.
We're not one by one in this thing.
It's like you're at daycare and like 100 children tried to wrestle you, and you're just like, bro, get the fuck. Oh, how many stiff arms we would see? Like, get off me. It's not happening.
You don't think 100 kids could fuck up an adult?
No.
What age?
Hey, you talking about me?
Just the average American adult.
So PFT.
Sure.
Yeah, average. Yeah. Yeah, he's right.
You are kind of like the average
Yep.
American.
What are we
I'm-
saying?
I'm-
Like 8, 9-year-olds?
Not in bank account though, brother. I feel you.
There we go.
All right. 8-year-olds, 108-year-olds cannot whoop PFT. I'm sorry.
I think they could.
100%.
108?
Dedicated.
100? That's more than we can fit in this room.
They are 8.
Yeah.
They have no force to their punches.
100 dedicated 8-year-olds swarming me. They could be.
All right, well, him. I will beat the dog shit out of 100 8-year-olds, dog. Like, what are we talking about? 8-year-olds are they can't punch. Like, it won't hurt. What are
100
we
of them
saying?
can.
It won't. It'll be like
They get you off the
100.
ground. Now you've got 108-year-olds on top of you
Yeah.
just wailing.
And then some of them probably just lying on top of my mouth and nose so I can't breathe. They just suffocate you. You would get suffocated by a pile of
dog.
10 8-year-olds.
You know how like you throw 7, 8, 9 haymakers in a row. You're only dealing with 90 now.
And then I'm tired.
And then
A ton.
I got 100 punches in me.
I think you're severely underestimating the quantity here.
Also, humans are way smarter than gorillas. Like, I don't know what the gorilla's battle plan would be, but we would have a plan. We would sit down. We'd say, all right, the initial swarm, we're going to go on the whistle. So one guy's got a whistle. And then he blows it, and then everybody charges a gorilla all at once. And the people from behind, their job is to jump on the gorilla's back and claw its eyes out. And if the gorilla doesn't have eyes, it's game over. I think 5 dudes that are dedicated could take out a blind gorilla.
5 guys can beat a gorilla.
If the gorilla can't see.
I don't know about that. Wow, that's hypothetical. All I know is the first 30 motherfuckers that try to hop on him are dying fast, very fast.
I think you
Now,
just
you
don't
want to
have
know something interesting? ChatGPT says the 100 men would almost certainly beat the gorilla, but says that one average adult male would beat the 108-year-olds.
Really?
Yeah.
I disagree with ChatGPT.
I think it was headed down the right path.
What's the logic when it comes to the 108-year-olds?
An average 8-year-old weighs 55 to 70 pounds and isn't particularly strong. A single adult male, let's say 5'10 and 180, is significantly stronger, faster, more coordinated than any 8-year-old. 8-year-olds generally lack the tactical ability or coordination to mount an effective group attack.
That is true.
In a chaotic scenario, they'd likely get in each other's way more than help.
Yep.
But then says maybe if they were highly aggressive, unusually coordinated, and had no fear or hesitation, which isn't typical for 8-year-olds,
Yeah.
the adult would eventually get tired, and if the kids were relentless, he could be overwhelmed.
Okay, great logic, GPT, and I agree, right? And it's given it the benefit of the doubt. If you're having these like super soldier 8-year-old kids, then you possibly maybe have a chance. But that's not the case, right? And this is how I view the gorilla debate. Once the first like wave of humans get they fucking jaw broke, that's gonna create so much hesitancy for the second, third, and fourth wave. And when you're like, you don't understand dedication, dog, human beings want to survive at the end of the day. So when you see a motherfucker get whopped and his head get clean knocked off, you're like, why am I in this fight? What am I doing here?
100 Navy SEALs.
Have you ever seen a gorilla beat his chest?
Yeah. Terrifying.
Dog. That motherfucker's strong, bro.
My
I'm just
source
saying.
is telling me the gorillas aren't built for long duration combat, and after a certain number of opponents, fatigue would set in.
You evolved from the same lineage, family.
Yeah, no, gorillas, they just go one speed.
But when survival's at play, humans, they have a common ancestor, despite what Big T thinks, right? From us. We are the same type of animal. We're not built for endurance. We don't endure. So, we all got a shot. Y'all are bugging. Y'all are high.
Well, did you know that over the course of a long distance race, I want to say like 10 miles, humans can beat horses.
What?
Humans can beat horses in like a 10-mile foot race.
I'm skeptical of that.
Does
claim.
the horse know it's racing?
That's what I'm saying.
The horse is being driven to beat the humans. There's somebody that's riding on the horse,
Okay.
like trying to get the horse to win. But yeah, the
I guess
ability
we have
that
more endurance than most animals in the animal kingdom.
the ability that we have to run long distances is superior
But
to that of a horse.
Again, that was our ancestors, right? Who were hunter gatherers. You talking about a hundred of us who sit and scroll all fucking day and eat processed foods, getting our ass whooped against a gorilla, man.
Mm-hmm. So I think rabid 8-year-olds, that would be very tough to fend off. But yeah, the 8-year-olds, you like graze one 8-year-old with your first punch and they start crying and they're like, I need a Band-Aid. Like they would tap out. I don't think that 8-year-olds can be dedicated. But there's a man versus horse marathon. It's an annual race. It's 22 miles. Runners compete against riders on horseback. It's a mix of road trail and mountainous terrain.
Mountainous?
Mountainous terrain. So they started this in 1980.
Hey, get on it, Big T.
I mean, he gets to just blow by that.
Mountainous.
That was other people.
That's true.
Be a federal case.
It was mountainous.
All right, continue, Mountainous.
So it's Mountainous is a fire name.
Mountainous.
Yeah, that would be an elite wide receiver name. The event started in 1980, and there were two people that were arguing in a pub in England about who would win in a race, a horse or a human being in long distances. So in 2004, the 25th race was won by Hugh Lobb in 2 hours, 5 minutes, 19 seconds. It's the first time that a man racing on foot has won the race. So he got a prize of 25,000 pounds. So they do vet checks on the horses too. So some people are saying because there are vet checks there to make sure the horses are okay, then it might slow down the horses. But then they decide to deduct the time spent in the vet checks from the horse times So there was, I guess, there was less time that the horses were spent receiving medical checkups, so then the horses started to win again. And then there was a big controversy. The fastest runner, Martin Cox, refused to accept the winner's trophy in protest at the decision. So yeah, I guess humans can beat horses in long distances occasionally.
Even that's a false. I don't like the test that's being set up there, right? Because you're racing against humans that are training for that, right? You're not racing against the average human versus the average horse.
Mhm.
Like if you train a horse to run long distance, it'll wash a human. So I don't like it.
Possibly. So looking,
Average human versus average horse, wash.
you might be right about that. If you look back at the history, it was won in 2023 by a human, in 2022 by a human. It looks like they took a 2-year pause for COVID in the human versus horse race. And then you have to go all the way back to 2007 to find the most recent human since then. Usually it looks like the horse dominates, but the humans do pop up every now and again. I'd like to go to this race, though. There's some really close finishes. Like there's some that are like a 23-second victory by the horse. That would have been, imagine down the stretch in that one. Just going balls to the wall. We'll get back to macrodosing in a second. It is being brought to you by Kraken. If you're going to trade crypto, do it right. No sketchy platforms, no sketchier customer support. That's why we only trust Kraken. Kraken lets you buy, sell, swap over 300 cryptos without the lag, crashes, or clownery. If you're buying crypto manually, that's old school. Recurring buys let you automate your investment so you stack sats without thinking about it. DCA done right. Buy more when prices dip, less when they spike. Link your bank in minutes. Set it, forget it, let your portfolio grow. Kraken Pay, instant crypto payments. No more I'll Venmo you later excuses. Whether you're covering a lost bet, splitting the tab after a night out, or sending funds for the next wild adventure, Kraken Pay lets you move money instantly. Zero fees, no banks holding things up. Oh, and if you refer your friends, Kraken will hook you up with up to $200 in USDG just for spreading the love. Quit waiting. Head to kraken.com/barstool. Not investment advice. Crypto trading involves risk of loss and is offered to U.S. customers, excluding Washington, New York, and Maine, through Payward Interactive Incorporated. Macrodosing is also brought to you by DraftKings. It's Derby Week. Speaking of horses, what good timing. It's Derby Week, guys. Suit up in your sharpest. Ladies, let those wide-brimmed hats turn heads. The race is on. But who will rise above the rest and be crowned king of the track? Find out on DK Horse, the #1 downloaded horse betting app. DraftKings is turning up the thrill with the King of the Track promotion. Here's how to get in. Head to the DK Horse app, opt in, and bet $5 or more on a horse to win the Derby. If your pick crosses the finish line first, you'll win a share of the $1 million prize pool. Who will reign supreme? Download the DK Horse Racing app. Use code MACRO. That's code MACRO on DK Horse. Bet $5 or more on a horse to win the Derby for your shot at a piece of $1 million. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Derby week. What a great week. Love a good mint julep. Love sitting down. It's always good weather outside on Derby week. Wherever I've been lucky enough to be, I feel like I'm always watching the Derby outside. Very, very, very pumped about that. Do we have any voicemails, or is there anything, Big T? Do you want to talk about our friend Bill Beliechick?
I don't know, man. It seems he doesn't want to.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think's going on there?
They met on a plane. She was reading a deductive logic book.
Of course.
Why just say that on the show?
Yeah, if that's the story, that's
like
the story.
she's the one who made it 1,000 times worse.
Yeah, I don't know why she was so opposed to that line of questioning, unless maybe there were things they might have told them beforehand. Our relationship is out of bounds for this. I don't know if that was a precondition going into the interview where they agreed to not talk about the relationship.
But they'd been talking about it for a minute before the only thing she objected to was when he said, "How did you guys meet?" And then she said, "We're not talking about this." He'd already been talking about them being together.
Apparently she objected to other things in the interview too, but that's the clip that they showed.
Right. How are you feeling if you're a North Carolina fan right
Not
now?
good. Not good, Big T.
I'm feeling great.
I don't know.
You want, this is what you want going on in your football program?
Brother, the shit that I've seen in football programs, this is
Sure,
benign.
sure, but it's public. It's a distraction. You already
I've never believed in distractions.
really.
Stop scrolling. No, it's not a real thing. Distractions are excuses for coaches to pretend like they have control over motherfuckers, dog. Distractions ain't real, dog. All you have to do is stop. Don't read the news.
So you don't believe that Shedeur Sanders' like entire situation could be a distraction?
No,
Okay.
no. You understand? I played on a team when we had the biggest distraction, like maybe of all time in the NFL, on our team, and nobody cared.
Hang on. Who's that?
When the president of the United States called us sons of bitches.
Okay, yeah. I thought you were referring to like a specific player.
It was me, Kenny Stills, who else? There's like two other dudes that did it with us. But like we kneel with Cap, and every interview was about that. We see it, CBS, 60 Minutes. We did all these interviews, and that team went to the playoffs. And nobody cared. Like, we would have political discussions because that was the height of like Trump in 2016. That was like the height of his bullshit. And he was just like on one. He was calling us sons of bitches. And, you know, the locker room was divided. Obviously, there was cats who was like, I'm standing. You know, I respect the flag. And all that. We had those discussions. We had the team. Adam Gase would like pull people. Pull meetings, and we have discussions, and they would voice their opinion. We would voice ours, and it was very simple. It was all good. That was like the biggest quote unquote distraction that you could possibly have. And nobody, when it was time to play ball, it was time to play ball. That distraction shit that was the best season the Dolphins had in a long time.
So wait, so were you included in the get that son of a bitch off the field, he's fired?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of an iconic quote.
He's an asshole.
Sure.
A guy bringing back American jobs threatening to take one. He's an idiot.
Sure.
Let's not forget,
but
though,
it's sometimes, you will probably disagree with this, but sometimes when it is due to poor performance, it's a funny clip.
Oh yeah, Oh, Trump is funny, dog. Don't get it twisted.
Like when a guy sucks and somebody tweets, "Get that son of a bitch off the field, he's fired." That's funny.
That nigga's funny. He's just stupid.
Let's not forget the most iconic moment of that whole thing was when Jerry Jones went out with the Dallas Cowboys. And took a knee at midfield. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
And just looked right into the sky cam. And just gave a little smirk.
Oh yeah. One of the funnier moments, that was years later, but even more funny, was when Nancy Pelosi took a knee with the the Democratic caucus, the Black caucus, and they took that shit was holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was this little black kid, man, who went viral for singing like a song. And then, like, every other month, he came out with a new, like, Black struggle song. And after a while, you're like, come on, man.
Whatever happened to Richmond, north of Richmond guy?
I don't know. I think
he really failed to capitalize.
Well, I think that the Republicans tried to get him to play a bunch of their shit over the summer, right? And he was like, no, I don't like any of you politicians. And so they stopped promoting him. And then he's got a great voice. I would like to hear what he's up to. Great voice. Guy? The guy that sang the Richmond, North of Richmond song. Your dollar ain't shit. That guy.
Oh, is he redhead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen him. Yeah, and he was like, I don't fuck with none of y'all.
Yep. Mad Dog just sent this to the chat. It is the anniversary post from Belichick's girlfriend.
4 years of knowing each other.
I can't open, anytime somebody sends me an Instagram link, I open my Instagram, it just goes to my regular feed.
Oh, here, I'll screenshot it.
It says, happy meetiversary.
That's not good. That's not good.
Happy meetiversary.
I honestly get that. I have meetiversaries with my friends, but not when I'm trying to, like, okay, never mind.
Well, I was about to say, yeah, that's something that a 24-year-old.
Yeah.
Do you know? Did you read the hashtags?
Yep.
Hashtag love is not logical.
But sometimes it is.
Hashtag ironic.
Happy meetiversary.
Hey, yo, man. Oh, no, what does this say?
It's also like, don't say that when you can time stamp that you were 20 when you met.
So hold on. So,
well, I mean, 24 ain't any better. Like,
no, but it's 20 you are getting dangerously close to a line.
So I feel like that's the crazy part, right? Once you are like, what's the difference? Like, I know legally speaking, I understand it, but like that's how I see it. That's why like young Jones have never been attractive to me because it's like what once you get to a certain age, like my age, like you look at them as babies. You know what I'm saying? Like my daughter's 15. A 19-year-old is no different than a 15-year-old to me, dog. They look the same, so it's like it's nothing attractive. But legally, that is what do you think, man? This is even more funny though. She signs it. He signs her book. Thanks for giving me a course on logic. Safe travels. And then he signed it with Super Bowl champions and lists all the years.
He's just used to that at this point. That's just how he signs shit. That's big. Usually you have to pay extra for an inscription like that.
Oh man, hilarious. I don't know, man. You remember growing up, Eric, and they were like older dudes, right? And they would see younger girls and they'd be like, "Oh, look at that one," and that was kind of normal. Like
Yeah.
you would just remember, like, "Oh, look at the jugs on that, or whatever," right? As an older dude, I'm looking at that now. I was like, "That's creepy behavior."
Yes.
That's just crazy how times have changed, man.
Yeah. It's Matthew McConaughey from Fast Times. Or not Fast Times, Dazed and Confused. That's what I love about high school chicks. You get older, they stay the same age.
Yeah, that's a wild thing to say.
I remember there was, who was it? There was a website, I think, that had a countdown clock until the Olsen twins turned 18.
That's
When they were like 15 years old or 16 years old.
that is you're a creep.
Creepy stuff. But yeah, that stuff was more common back when we were growing up.
Yeah.
But yeah, by the time I got to college, like even when I was a sophomore in college, high school girls it was like they were a different species.
We had a dude that was messing around with a girl who was in high school when we was in college. And we used to get on his head about that shit. Like, bro, that's gross, dog. Even the dudes that left for the league and they would come back to our parties, we're like, bro, go away. Like, you don't got grown up shit. We in college. What are you here for? This is weird.
Now, were there relationships in your high school? I'm sure there were because I think it was pretty much everywhere. A senior would be dating a freshman. That was weird to me too.
That was a little odd. Yeah, that was a little odd. Yep.
It's like you're.
I mean,
you're in
it's
middle
all
school.
benign, but it's like looking at it is weird.
Yeah.
It's just because they're. I was telling my son this, right? Because we played he played basketball. I told you when we was in Chicago, he played that tournament. He's in sixth grade. He's played against a bunch of eighth graders, and the vast difference physically and mentally between sixth and eighth graders is huge. And that's what I was trying to explain to him. I was like, dog, you're playing against like more developed kids. Like this is good for you. And that's the thing. Like those small 2 age gap differences at that age are vast, are huge. And it's like that's why it's never been like 38 and 36. No, we all washed. Yeah, it is what it is. 40, 38, this is the same shit. But at that age, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know what you would talk about. Like
I was about to say that. Like, what conversations Bill Belchick and his 20-year-old have, dog? Like, what are y'all talking about?
Like I feel old just talking to 24-year-olds around the office.
Yeah.
I don't understand most of the shit they say. For Bill doesn't understand most of the shit that like 50-year-olds say.
I also always think about like the families. Like, what are either of their families thinking of this? Like, what does Steve Belichick think of this? She's all up in his grill too.
If my dad is 64, if my dad walked in
he's
my
in his
house
70s.
with a 20-year-old, I'm cussing him. I'm talking so much shit, dog, to this man.
He's 73.
Oh, I'm coming like, bro. If you don't get this baby out of my house, dog, what are you doing, fam? Get out.
Because it's also like she's all involved in the UNC football stuff. She's CC'd on every single email. He's there too.
Why did they agree to do this interview?
I don't know. I think to promote his book.
I think that lends 1% credence to the argument that maybe they're in a real relationship. Like, surely, if he was in some sort of arrangement, he would not agree to do this interview, right?
Yeah.
But also, she wasn't really part of it.
She wasn't supposed to be.
It's like sloppy, and I think that's what catches me off guard about this shit. This is very sloppy, right? from a dude who's known to be meticulous about every single detail. We're talking about it's a little tidbit of like players that have played for Belichick, right? If you walk in the building, he would quiz randomly in like a meeting, right? He would quiz you like, what does the sign above the bathroom exit sign say? And like he'll quiz you in front of the whole team. You have to pay attention to detail. Like these are the kinds of things that, Bill O'Brien brought over to the Houston Texans, right? Little shit like that. And the cats and all these like little nuances. And he was like very meticulous. And so for him to bring a 20-year-old girlfriend to your book promotion tour, it's just sloppy. I don't know, man. I hope it's love though. Who cares, right? As long as they're happy.
I do
Hilariously
too.
entertaining though.
I do too. I hope they're very happy, and it'll be very interesting to see what happens with the Tar Heels this year.
How many games does he have to win?
How many did they win last year?
I
don't gotta win. You don't gotta
believe
win
they
one.
went to a bowl game.
I know Mac Brown quit after JMU beat him.
They were 6-7 last year.
Oh, so they did go to a bowl game. That's right. Did they play in the one in Fenway? Yeah, they lost to UConn at Fenway.
I think they got to win at least 7.
Yeah, you could get away with 7-5, I guess. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's not inspiring confidence.
No, 7-5 with like programs trending in the right direction. Maybe you have a good young quarterback that commits to sticking around.
But if they go,
Is he recruiting?
if they go
Like, is he-
5-7,
Yeah.
Yeah, he's recruiting.
He's hopping on planes and going to Huntsville, Alabama to go see.
I
the
don't
kid
know
that's-
how much of that he's doing, but yeah, I mean, he's like Saban didn't do that a ton.
Okay, yeah. See, the game's changed. So I
Like
don't know.
generally, when you were recruited by Alabama, like if Saban talked to you at the end, that meant like they really wanted you.
Okay, so when we was coming out, it was handwritten letters. If they wrote you a handwritten letter, that was a big deal.
Oh, wait.
Yo, what's up? Arian, I got a quick surprise for you.
We have a
Hey, Arian, I
surprise.
heard that shot you took of me in the last week. That wasn't nice.
I can't see who this is. I see.
Christian, this is Big
What?
T.
Good to meet you.
I heard that shot you took of me last week. That wasn't nice.
What shot?
You're like, top cat or something. It's like, guy who's at the top. I don't know. We can talk about it later. Here.
Top cat?
Oh, yeah, that wasn't to you.
He said it wasn't to you.
Yeah, it wasn't to me.
I was talking about Big Cat. I'm surprised nobody caught that, by the way.
Brice.
What's up, man?
What's up, man? Big T, how's it going? Good to meet you.
PFT. Nice to meet you. Have a seat here. I got a little surprise for Arian.
Nice.
Arian, you've recently become a dedicated, diehard Milwaukee Brewers fan.
These are facts.
It's an interesting hat that you're wearing today.
This headphone's kicking my ass right
Yeah,
now.
it's okay.
Oh yeah, that's why. Well, this is I
And-
just came off I went to the Kendrick concert, so I was just repping.
Okay, well, it's interesting we're wearing a Dodgers hat because I wanted to bring a surprise for you. This is Christian Yelich. He
Oh
plays-
shit! What's poppin', my guy? I'm sorry I don't do the face thing. You know what I'm saying?
you're
I'm
good.
new to this, not true to this. What's up, baby?
What's up, dude? Thanks
I'm
for
telling-
sticking
that was-
with us after
wouldn't
we
have-
got smoked in New York when you had your newfound Brewers fandom, you know?
Hey, it's a long season, baby. We gonna be all right.
You ain't lying.
So,
Arian, why aren't you wearing a Brewers hat though? He did go
that's
out and he bought like thousands of dollars worth of Brewers gear the second he decided that he was going to be diehard Brewers fan.
I'm sure they would have sent you some stuff.
Oh, they
Yeah.
did.
They
I
did.
bought
Yeah.
him a jersey. Then he spent like $3,000. Then the Brewers sent him a bunch of free stuff. He's got everything.
yeah, no, that's not. This is actually wild that y'all. Why would you tell me, dog?
He
I was
started
about
to, and
to
I
earlier.
told
You
him.
Probably-
I told him to
we
let
should
it
probably
happen.
swap hats, family. See, y'all don't love me like
He
that.
started
dog.
to. I stopped him.
Big T talked me down from it. Yeah. Do you have any questions about the Brewers?
We got Sal and Bryce here, too.
Sal and
so-
Brice are here
yeah.
too.
What's up, Aaron?
That's what's up with y'all, man. Nah, man. You know, I know how it is being a professional athlete. So y'all just keep rocking, man. You had a fan of me. I be watching on my phone, dog. Like when I'm out my crib.
That's what's up. We got to do
bad,
you
man.
proud, man.
Have
I'm still learning the game though. You know what I mean? I didn't grow up watching baseball. Yeah, congratulations, man. I think the Grand Slam you hit the other day.
Yeah. We play a chaotic version of baseball, so we're a fun team to watch. You never know what's going to happen.
Jimmy
Yeah,
tips?
scrappy. Y'all are scrappy. I love it.
Any tips for Arian as a fan for how he can be a better Brewers fan? I think. Are you going to throw out a first pitch?
Yeah, against San Diego.
No, it's against the Braves.
Oh, the Braves. Okay, against the Braves. Okay, yeah.
In Atlanta or Milwaukee?
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
June.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Sick.
Any tips for him besides
Don't
maybe
bounce it, dude.
don't bounce it?
All the way.
Yeah, we had a rough one last year in San Diego.
I don't go talk
It was not
about
good.
that. Not in front of company, Big T.
It wasn't good.
And maybe wear a Brewers hat when you're throwing out the first pitch.
See, that's fucked up, dog. This is a bad look, and it's y'all's fault.
We didn't wear the hat.
They set you up for failure, man.
I mean,
yeah, dog. It's like I'm new to baseball. I was like, I got my squad. I've watched probably 15 games front to back, right? And like you know what I'm saying? And they don't tell me I got a Dodger. Y'all are bugging. That's fucked up. It's cool.
do you have
cool.
So which is the coach on the team that you're friends with?
Julio, he's the first base coach.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you know Julio?
Oh,
Yeah, that's my dog. I went to college with him.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Julio's a good
Went
dude,
to
man.
Tennessee. Or,
Yeah.
Yep.
right?
Yep, you too.
All right. Well, I just wanted to introduce you, especially since Arian wasn't wearing the proper hat. I thought that would be
That's
a good
fucked
thing.
up. I need 30 seconds. from
I'll
you,
say this:
Big
he
T,
is a
dog.
diehard fan, though. Like every single show we open up, he just starts talking to me about the Brewers and what the Brewers did. So he's at least committed to the fact that this is his team now. You guys have great merch that he loves to wear all the time. You caught him on a
Fucked up,
bad
man.
day.
I got a Brewers hat sitting on my stand over there.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
I
I've been
don't.
in here for 5 minutes. You ain't changed it.
Good point.
I ain't doing all that. You know what I mean?
I don't
Get
put on
off,
I don't put on a Detroit Tigers hat if I'm going to see a Kid Rock concert. I ride or die with my Nats.
Well, listen, I'm from San Diego, and you know Kendrick is my favorite artist of all time. And so my pops is from LA, all my family from LA. Like there's a cultural connection here. I didn't know y'all was bringing my mans. I would have never wore it. It's all good.
Are we all good here? Or are you okay with Arian?
We'll let it slide.
Okay.
You know?
All right.
Yeah. We're gonna chop it up when I go down to the walk. Is that what y'all call it? What do y'all call Milwaukee?
Now it's called
Yeah,
the walk.
now it is. For sure.
Oh, the walk, yeah.
Now
When I
it's
go
the
down
walk.
to the walk, we gonna chop. We'll kick it, man.
That sounds pretty fucking cool
Yeah,
when you
man,
call
looking
it the
forward
walk.
to it.
Yeah.
My dog. Y'all keep rocking, man.
Yeah, man. You too.
All right. Appreciate
All right.
you guys.
All right, guys.
Thanks for just popping
Yeah.
in. Christian, we'll talk. We'll talk in a
Yeah,
little bit.
we got some stuff to talk about.
How's the swing feeling?
Dangerous.
Dangerous. I don't like that.
He just hit a grand slam, bro.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh wait, what are you talking about?
He said my swing's feeling dangerous, home run derby worthy.
Yeah, you're gonna be licking some ass.
Not licking, eating.
You're gonna be eating some yum cat booty.
So wait, what did you call Big Cat, and what was this from?
No, so I mean, it was. I don't remember the context of the thing, but you had said something. I don't remember the context, but basically it was like you were. God, I couldn't remember. I couldn't believe he caught that because nobody caught the joke. And I was like, don't worry about it. But
Yeah, I
I
don't
wasn't talking. I was talking about Big Cat and how you were like afraid of Big Cat or something like that, something stupid. But I forget the context of what it was. I can't. So he actually listens to this show then.
Was it in a clip?
Yeah,
No,
I don't
we
think
used it in the
so.
clip.
Or maybe somebody sent it to him. I don't know.
I don't really know what you're talking about.
I would be surprised if Big Cat listened to this show. I think Big Cat consumes a lot of clips. I don't think.
No, I know he didn't. I said like, I thought this is what it was. No, I don't know the context, but I was like something about big cats because we were talking about big dogs, and it was something about hierarchy, and it made the joke made sense, but none of y'all caught it, so I was like, fuck it, move on.
Oh, it's when you were talking about how the world needs bigger dogs.
Yeah, and then I forgot what you said, but it was alluding to how like the hierarchy of the thing. And I'm like, are you afraid of big cats? And you're like, what do you mean? Something like
I
that.
do recall this.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you guys have to settle your beef.
Which I don't know why he would think it was about him.
I mean, you can see how putting Big Cat together.
Christian Yelich?
No, Dan.
Was he there too? I couldn't.
Yes,
Yeah, that was
Yes.
him.
Yes, he's the one who said that.
Well, then that was no. That was a shot to PFT. I couldn't. All I could see was Christian. Y'all gotta tell me who's in the room, B.
I
My
figured
bad.
you could tell the difference in voice.
No, I mean,
No, yeah, that was Dan that said that.
Damn. I
Also-
said, what's up? I didn't know that was him.
Arian, also, yeah, we probably should have told you that you should change your. I tried to. If you go back,
You
and
agreed.
You re-listen.
You
I
agreed.
tried to. I stopped. I said you should maybe change, and then Big T was like, nope. And then I looked at Big T and I was like, yeah, you're right.
That's dirty.
Because I was
dog.
right.
But my initial thought was to be a good friend.
You know what's crazy? It's my first baseball fan moment. You know what I'm saying? Where I meet
You know,
a player that
I should have
watch.
maybe taken that a little more into account.
You know what I'm saying? Like this is my. I've never been a. Anytime I'm a fan, I've never like met like anybody who I was like a fan of, right? Because like except for Kobe, right? And that's Kobe though. But other than that, like I just let them. You know, it is what it is. That was my first time meeting somebody who I watch on a regular basis, and y'all let me go out like that. That's fucked up. Bro.
I should have maybe taken that a little more into consideration. I still think I would have made the same choice,
For the content.
but I would have been more cognizant of that.
Crazy work, man. Crazy work.
You said you got one right there. You should have changed.
It's all the way. It's over there.
It's on the
No,
other
I'm not
side of the
gonna-
room,
no,
Big T.
It, you know what I'm saying? I still got rep for the coast, but God,
They could tell though when you were like, "Oh, the grand slam you hit." Like they knew.
maybe.
You tweet about them
I
constantly.
couldn't tell you a player on the Dodgers. That's what's funny.
You know a few.
Yeah, come on.
No.
They have
The
one of the best players this century.
Tanahashi Coates or whatever.
Are you talking about the author of The Case for Reparations? That has to be the only time those two guys
No
have ever
way.
been confused for each other.
No chance.
Oh, no. What's his name?
I'm gonna start calling him Ta-Nehisi Coates.
The Japanese guy you're talking about is Shohei Ohtani.
God damn. You see how I can fuck that up, though.
There's
That's
nobody that's ever
hilarious.
made that mistake ever.
That's unreal.
I think I just saw a clip of him. Maybe that's why.
That's unreal.
Be like, damn, this dude can write too.
Do you ever think about like, is this the first time these words have been strung together in human
Yeah.
history or
Yeah.
I
something?
do that all the time.
He's
I do that all
the
the
first person that has ever compared Ta-Nehisi Coates to Shohei Ohtani.
Yes.
Or mistaken one for the other at
But
least.
when you say them together, you're like, I saw how you got there.
No.
Come on, say them together.
Shohei Ohtani and Ta-Nehisi Coates.
That's I thought it was Tanahashi.
It might be. I'm not sure.
I thought it was Tanahashi Coates.
Still, okay, I'll say them
You
back
can
to
see how
back
I
now.
got there, dog.
Shohei Ohtani, Tanahashi Coates.
Come on.
But if you know either of them,
But it was just like I was thinking of players, and I'm like and that it just came out. Okay, I fucked up. All right?
So
Happens.
glad this is going to completely overshadow Montanius.
They'll both get clipped. Don't worry.
No, we need a little compilation of our fuck ups today.
Montanius Coates, that guy has 1,600 yards, 9 touchdowns, and a kick return for a touchdown.
Dual sport player. No, but seriously, other than him, I don't know a player on the Dodgers.
Freddie Freeman,
I don't-
Mookie Betts.
Nope. Wait. Oh, Mookie. Okay, Mookie Betts. I've heard of him, but couldn't tell you what he does, how he's done. Nothing.
Great ball player. UT commit. Didn't go, but
Okay.
I like that you still claim it.
I mean, he loves the Vols. He goes to some of the basketball games in the offseason.
He committed. At one point, he committed to us.
Yeah.
Clayton Kershaw.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Roki
I
Sasaki.
can't believe that's just unreal. Y'all would do that to me.
I'll take the heat for that.
That's
It was, but you admit from our perspective, it's funny.
it's hilarious.
All right.
But, like,
So then you see the reasoning.
yeah, it's hilarious. But like, as a guy who's like been a solid guy to y'all, and y'all are my introduction to baseball.
I should have
It's like
taken
you
that
set
a
me
little
up
more
for
into
years.
account.
This feels like a long play.
It was
Almost.
incredible though when you logged on and you were wearing a Dodgers hat, which I've never seen you wear ever.
I've never had it. That's the thing. This is my only Dodger hat in existence because one, I'm from San Diego, right? So all the homies hate that I have this hat, and I sent it to the group chat to fuck with them. But my man's one of my best friends who's from LA. He was like, "Yo, let's get fitted for the Kendrick concert," because he came with me, and I was like, "Bet." So I did the whole, you know what I'm saying, with the chucks and the, you know what I mean. I was did up, right? Real West Coast fit. And I had an LA hat. I went back and forth though. I had a San Diego hat, but he was like, "Just wear it." I was like, "Fuck it, I'll wear the LA one."
That group chat must hate you.
Oh, I fuck with them all the time. All the time. All right. And so I had it. That's the funny thing. I had a SD hat and an LA hat, and I said, which one? LASD. And they were like, bro, get the fuck out of here.
It was
This
just
is
too
my only
perfect.
LA hat that I've
It was
ever
too
had.
perfect.
This is the second baseball hat. Other than, like, you know what I'm saying, San Diego, I never wore a San Diego baseball hat because baseball, right? This is that I've ever had. It's just unreal. Don't worry. Payback's a bitch. Y'all hit me with the long play. Pause.
All right, so you guys want to do some voicemails real quick?
No, I'm contemplating if I want to do anything with y'all.
Okay. Well,
Arian, if
take
it
some
helps,
time.
I didn't know they were even coming in.
That's a hell of a play, Maddie. Jeez.
I didn't know.
Take some time, contemplate it. The voicemails are brought to you by Steven Singer Jewelers. Do you call your mom every day? Do you call her all the time? Or do you just call her on special occasions or maybe once in a blue moon? Well, Steven Singer Jewelers wants to help you tell the moms in your life every single day how appreciated they are. He's introducing his brand new limited edition 24-karat gold dip blue moon rose for Mother's Day. Skip flowers. Flowers die in a week. Steven Singer Jewelers' signature gold dipped roses are real roses dipped in real 24-karat gold. They're guaranteed to last a lifetime. Give her something she can look at and remember how loved she is all year long. Picture a brilliantly bright blue rose with diamond-like sparkles. This forever gift of a real long-stem 24-karat gold-dipped rose has Steven's full lifetime guarantee. It comes to you in an impressive gift box and your own personalized Mother's Day note. It's a great gift for Mom. It's going to last a lifetime. She's going to think about you every time she looks at it. Moms are some of the best things in our lives. Make sure that she knows that you appreciated all the days she woke up early for you, all the practices she took you to, all the dates she picked you up from, all the times that she let you have a sleepover when all your friends were loud and she had to get up early the next day. Mom did a lot for you. She changed your diapers. The least you could do is by getting your mom a good Mother's Day gift. Check out Steven Singer at IHateStevenSinger.com. Hurry, because the roses will not be restocked. Supply is limited. Shipping is always complimentary. That means free. Nothing says I love you like a real, authentic Steven Singer 24-karat gold-dipped rose that lasts forever. Only available from Steven Singer Jewelers in Philly or online at IHateStevenSinger.com. The voicemails are also brought to you by Stella Blue. Arian was saying he was counting his dubs, and the first big dub of the day was coffee. Had a cup of coffee. I had some Stella Blue for my breakfast this morning. It was delicious. I had the Miss Peaches blend. The weather's heating up, so you can stay cool with Stella Blue Cold Brew. And now they've got their newest cold brew variety, Miss Peaches, now available in cold brew. 100% Colombian, 100% delicious. The best part is every purchase helps homeless pets find their forever homes. Make better, fresher cold brew at home in just 3 easy steps. You steep it, you refrigerate it, you enjoy it. Grab Miss Peaches now at StellaBlue.com. Use promo code MACRO. Get 20% off orders of $25 or more. Sip with purpose all summer long. All right, let's rip some VMs.
Still in this.
Hey, Macro crew. This is Will from Memphis. I was calling because my wife and I are expecting our first child in September, so I'm hopeful this voicemail makes its way to you before then. But of course, the natural question that everybody asks once they find out that we're pregnant is, what's the name going to be? We found out it was a boy, and so we started the process of trying to determine the name. But the truth is, we are both just at a loss. We don't have any family names right now that we are loving. And we've gone through, of course, just all the lists and things, and nothing yet has just been standing out. And so I guess first question for Arian, how did you ultimately decide on your kids' names, and what was that process like? And then second question for the whole crew, number one, are there any just names that you like for a boy? Any recommendations? We may or may, if we end up taking a recommendation, I'll certainly call back and let y'all know that we have a new Macrodosing named by the podcast. But if you don't have any ideas, what would you recommend as far as a process? Like, how would you personally go about, ultimately deciding on a name for a new human that you're responsible for? I'm going to hang up and listen. Stay handsome. Stay beautiful.
Great question. First and foremost, never name your baby Eric or Connor, because it will fuck you in the long run.
Pause.
All right, now that we got that out of the way, I think naming your baby is like we said it a long time ago, but it's like you know it when you see it. It's just you'll see it and you're like, oh, it sticks out and it's like a moment. You know what I mean? One of those. That's how it is. And I went through all the processes and like I would say go through like something that makes you feel nostalgic, like whether it's a point in history or a point in time or something that you're really some kind of lore that you're into. Like dig and dive into that and just browse a lot of the words. Because my daughter, my first daughter, my first son, that's kind of what we did with their names, and their names are fire. They get a lot of compliments on their names. And then my last no, no my last daughter, oh sorry, my second to last daughter, it was a family member. We opened it up to the family because we were the same process. It's like I don't know, I'm out. Nothing is sticking, and then we just opened it up. Like, what do y'all think? Just start throwing names out of us, throwing names, and then boom. One of my man's, my brother, he said Hendrix, and Hendrix just when it hit me, and I told Shorty, and she was like, I love it, and it's kind of like you know it when you see it. You know it when you see it, and so the latter part of your question is like the process. I would do that. Open up to friends and family. And don't take it personally, obviously. But like, just say, hey, anything. Like, give me something you come across, something and sooner or later one's gonna hit y'all. That's just like, oh my God, that's the one. And it hits both in you and it resonates and it vibrates throughout your body. And you're like, that's the one. You know it when you see it.
I kind of agree with that. Like you can have a name that you love, and I'm saying this as somebody that I am a parent to a dog, so I have personal experience. You can have a name that you love, and
Chris.
And Chris, yeah, I have a fake son. And then when your child arrives, then you're like, okay, yeah, that fits perfectly. But I tend to agree with people that are like, I want to meet the kid first. I want to see if that's where the name would fit in that spot. I've always thought that giving your child a name that conveys a rank to them or an accomplishment, kind of a good underused idea. General. This is my son, Doctor Commenter. Is
private?
Can you do? Yeah, private. Yeah, private.
Commander.
Private's going to be a weirdo.
What about Commander?
Commander. Yeah, but then you might have to change his name at some point.
Yeah.
Just name your kid Coach. Justice.
I like Justice.
Justice is good. Doctor. Esquire.
So for the guy, I love
Champ.
names.
Heavyweight. This is heavyweight champion of the world commenter.
No, see, you're already turning your back on your kid, just like you turn your back on me. Anywho, I would say that I love names that are unique, and I think it probably started with mine. That when you're in a classroom, you don't hear it. Or you're in a group of a lot of people, it's very unique. So when you hear Arian, it's like that's the only Arian. I'm sure there's some, but
there's a reason it's pretty unique.
I've never met another Arian. Yeah, I hear you. But I've never met another Arian. My daughter's name's unique. All my kids' names are very unique because I feel like I don't know. It gives them like that semblance of I don't know, purpose. Like I'm different. Like, and I've always loved kids' names, and nothing against the Johns or the Jerrys or the whatever the case. But I love unique names. It shows like the creativity of your parents.
What do you think of the Southern parents who take names and distort them with all sorts of crazy spellings to make them unique?
I mean, I don't judge kids. I understand there's some wild ass names out there, but I like creativity. Some of them aren't very creative. Some are very very creative. Like so, my son's name is Cairo, right? But we changed the spelling of it. It's not like the city in Egypt, but it was named after the city of Egypt. But it's not spelled that way. So I mean, I don't mind it. But I like unique names. I love unique names. I'm not a real fan of it has nothing to do with the religion, but I'm not a real fan of biblical names because there's just so many. Like when you say John, a million motherfuckers will turn around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love unique names. Every baby is precious, aren't they, Big T?
Yeah.
Did you see the Texans draft, Arian?
I did not.
They drafted a Jaden, a Jalen, and a Jalen. They got 3 Jalens and a Jaden.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's a lot, dog.
Falcons got a Jalen too.
I think I would say I'm going to guess the majority of teams in the NFL this year drafted either a Jaden or a Jalen.
Just drafted?
Yeah.
How many do you think have one on the roster?
Ooh. It's got to be close to all, right?
I'd imagine most of them.
Yeah. Apparently kids aren't named Eric anymore.
Thank God.
Kids aren't.
No, Eric Ayamaner. I don't know exactly how to pronounce last name. Guy from Stanford. He got drafted this year. He's good.
Okay. What about are there Mikes? Do Mikes exist?
Yeah. Michaels.
It was like everybody was a Michael when I was growing up.
So nobody's going to give this guy any names?
Michael. Mike's a good name.
What about now? I know he said he's from Memphis, but
Elvis.
So I was thinking of some Tennessee-inspired names.
Okay.
Presley. How about Presley? That's cold. That's a cold little name.
Did he say he said it was a boy, right?
Mm-hmm.
See, I think for a girl, Presley is good.
I think it's a good unisex name, but you're not wrong. Presley for a girl is kind of fire, actually.
See, I love Knox and Nash.
Mm-hmm.
Those are Tennessee-inspired names.
Yeah. What about
It's giving a little bit too much dog for me.
Cash?
No.
You got to have the right kid for Cash.
Like Johnny
I think that's
Cash.
when you have to see him.
Yeah.
Like, I think Caton Beeves Cash, that makes sense. Also because his real name is not just Cash.
Yeah, Cassius.
Yeah. Like, I like that.
What do you think about this one? Ridge.
Ridge?
Yeah, you got to be Southern enough for it.
Ridge is a good nickname.
But I think you can, if the right guy can pull off Ridge.
Ridge, I don't know. Ridge. You got to be able to pull it off. Otherwise, like imagine Ridge, but Ridge is like a nerd.
Yeah,
that doesn't work.
And
I'm not saying that you don't love your kid if it's a nerd, but it's gonna create a whole host of problems if you've got like a badass name and he's just into like collecting his Pokemon cards.
I found an interesting thing. The most common names in NFL history.
Mm-hmm.
From 1 to 10. I'll go from 10 to 1. George, Tom, Steve, Chris, Joe, Bill, Bob, Jim, Mike. Number 1. Any guess?
I would have guessed Mike was number 1.
Dan. Steve.
Nope. No, Steve was number 7.
Okay.
I'm sorry, number 8.
I don't know.
What is it?
You should love this one, Big T. Comes with the 316.
John,
number 1.
Mm-hmm. All right. Here's the most common name amongst quarterbacks from 10 to 1.
Matt.
Nope. Bill, Jeff, Matt, Joe, Tom, Steve, John, Jim, Bob. Number 1.
You say Mike?
Mike.
Yeah.
Mike. All right. Here's the most common names amongst current NFL players. Starting from 10. Matt, Brandon, Mike, Justin, Jordan, which is hilarious. Chris, Michael, Tyler, Josh. Number 1 is a little surprising me, but anyone?
Let's go with Jalen.
No, it's Nick.
Nick, okay. See, Tyler, I would not expect Tyler to be on that list.
I was surprised by that as well.
Yeah.
Tyler Booker. Did you see Tyler Booker's answer when he went on with Micah Parsons after he got drafted and they were like, "What do you love about football?"
Yeah.
Did you see what he said?
No, what did he say?
He said, "I love knowing that the guy that's lining up across from me woke up excited to play football, and then he has to line up across from me play after play, and then I see him not want to play football anymore."
That's pretty cool.
That's what I love about it. And I was like, "That's pretty badass."
That's very cool.
Hey, bro, this is funny, man. Guess what the number one popular name in the NBA is?
Jalen for sure.
It's Jalen.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fucking funny.
There's
man.
2 on every team.
Yeah.
I guess I just never really realized how common that name is. Even like Jalen Rose, like there's always a Jalen.
Well, he invented it.
There,
Invented Jalen.
Have we not talked about that?
Uh-uh.
He does claim that his mother invented the name Jalen.
Wait, I've never heard this.
I see. Oh, yes, I swear.
and you can see the direct correlation in people named Jalen coming after he was a famous basketball player in the Final Four. So you can see as the years go on, more and more kids. You can see it mostly like in sports, but more and more kids that are being drafted are named Jalen, and it came like whatever it is, 18, 19 years after he was in the Final Four.
I'm sure that had a huge push. I'm skeptical about the claim that no one was ever named Jalen.
I don't think that that's the case, but they do keep track of names, and you can look it up in terms of how popular of a baby name Jalen was before like 1989, and then how popular it became afterwards.
Yeah, I think the Fab Five was maybe culturally one of the biggest things. Oh, like one of like the biggest movements. That shit was huge. You remember the Fab Five shit?
Mm-hmm.
That shit was huge. So like I can imagine that inspiring some baby names for sure. I mean, I had nowhere near the impact of that, and I've gotten several DMs saying that they named their baby after me, which is always
That's crazy.
super compliment. Yeah, super compliment. One of the little kids is like 10 or something like that, and they send me like DM updates, and I check them out every now and then. It's pretty dope.
That's awesome. So before 1992, Jalen was not in the top 1,000 baby names in America. And then the year that he got drafted, it jumped to the top 200. And then the year 2000, it hit its peak at 106th.
That Fab Five shit was extremely popular, man, and it like changed the landscape of college basketball, and like there was like a national race conversation that was at play, NCAA and the amateur status, that whole thing. It was a huge conversation, so I could see why the name spike would take place.
Yeah,
it was an inspiring movement,
and also the shorts were long. They wore baggy shorts
and black socks.
Yep,
that was part of like the cultural thing. The cultural thing was like we do things exact opposite, and that was like how we do it is how we do it. And it was five true freshmen starting and like changing the vibe and the landscape of the entire NCAA. It's kind of like a fuck you to the system.
Yeah,
that shit was fire, dog. That shit was damn. What a moment in time. I forgot about the Fab Five.
I've lived through shorts going back and forth. Now, 3 times?
We're approaching the 80s again.
Yeah, so when I was born, 85,
shit's getting baggy, man.
I do remember watching some basketball players, and they had relatively short shorts. Like all the parents when I was growing up, they all rocked short shorts because they were all dad age, and so they were still living in that era. But it was short shorts up until about 1990 or 1991, and then gradually over the 90s into the 2000s, baggy shorts were the only things that you wore. You did not wear short shorts at all. You would get clowned. They wouldn't let you play if you showed up to the gym in like 2000. You had short basketball shorts on. They'd be like, "Dude, what are you wearing right now?" And then they reached their peak probably with the N1 mixtape. Like
the latter part of it, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say like 2000. When were shorts the baggiest? I want to say
2007.
No, I think it was before that. So like 2000, 2005, that era was egregiously long, dog. Like egregiously. Our shit, that was the era of the tall tees, the foam clips, the fitted hats,
the visors, the upside down visors with a big white tee.
That reached my part of the town, but the throwback jerseys, the NBA, the NBA patch pants.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all remember? I don't know if y'all remember that shit. So cats used and jackets too, like all NBA teams on your pants or a jacket. Wild times, bro. Wild times.
Yeah.
But that's what's crazy. So fashion, and then when I got into the league, it changed, and all the young cats started wearing like skinny jeans. Skinny jeans was the thing, right? Like no more baggy stuff. And when I talk about skinny, I'm talking about like skinny jeans. And I was like, y'all are bugging, right?
Yep.
That's when I first started feeling old, and I was like mid-20s. And then that vibe kind of persisted throughout the entire 2010s. And then slowly but surely, right now, fashion is going back to like egregiously baggy. So I went to, like I said, I just went to this Kendrick Lamar tour, the Dan tour. This is a large. This shit baggy as fuck. Like, and everything's changing again. So like, you got to rethink your sizes.
I think in basketball, though, players are going to shorter shorts again, though.
They are, but it's going to swing back at some point. I remember like we started going back to shorter shorts pretty recently. I think like 2000
3 or 4 years ago.
I remember 2016. There was one player. I think you might have been on Indiana, and I was like, "Wait, is this the beginning of the short shorts trend?" Because it had always been baggy for almost my entire life. Now they're getting very short. I feel like 4 years there's going to be one guy that wears baggy shorts, and everyone's going to be like, "Oh fuck, we got to wear baggy shorts again." It'll be a cycle.
Yeah,
It's a cycle.
I was watching recently the 2008 Tennessee-Memphis basketball game was like on my YouTube recommended, and I just watched the whole thing. And I was like, I don't know how these guys are dribbling between their legs.
Yeah.
Like the
It
shorts
would hit it.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Mm-hmm.
It's because you ain't got no handles.
Well, yeah, I can't do it regardless of what shorts I'm wearing, but I'm saying like the shorts were so big it had to interfere.
Hey, maybe get some handles.
That's not part of my game.
That's true.
I'm a pick and pop guy.
You got a sweet stroke.
I appreciate that. Pause.
Oh,
In rugby, we've always worn short shorts. It's never. Some things are timeless.
Ain't nobody checking for rugby fashion, doggy.
No, it's not true.
rugby shirts.
Less to grab onto. Yeah. All right, we got another voicemail.
We do.
Hey, this is Arian from Green Bay, and my question is, what is a minor, harmless, but very annoying inconvenience you would wish on somebody that you dislike? Like for me, I'd say maybe their car clock goes back by 30 seconds every day, so by the end of the week it's off by a couple minutes. Or every time they go to use their Keurig, they have to refill the water. That would drive me crazy. Let me know yours. I love you guys. Long-time listener. Love the pod. Stay handsome and beautiful.
The coffee one is a good one.
Absolutely love hearing from female macrodosians, by the way.
Same.
Love that.
I
you for listening.
cannot express to you how frustrated I get when I have to fill up my coffee machine with water. I've thought about repositioning my coffee machine, make it closer to the fountain. I've thought about how to streamline this problem. I'm coming up empty with solutions. But that will get your day off to a bad start, because then you got to refill the thing and you might spill some water. Then you got to clean up the water. Then you got to refill the paper towels because that's the last paper towel. It can really back you up by a number of minutes in the morning. I would say kidney stones would be a good one to wish upon your worst enemy. No, but I somebody was saying like that's the pain that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. That is the exact pain. That's the exact thing.
I hate that
want.
saying. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy.
Yeah, but your worst
Yes,
enemy.
I would.
Yeah,
actually.
Think about how much you hate your worst enemy. Do you want them to have excruciating pain in their testicles and to be struggling to push out a pea-sized rock from their urethra? Fuck yeah, you do.
That's why. So when she said this question, I immediately went to the person that I hate the most. And a minor inconvenience would be like, I don't know, a lug nut loosens on your tire.
Mm-hmm.
No,
another one.
see, y'all aren't doing it right.
She said a minor inconvenience.
You want someone dead, and you want someone to have kidney stones.
Well, think about your worst enemy.
I didn't say dead. You put that on there.
You made a dead face. You made a dead face.
Like right now, my biggest hater is out there
I didn't
somewhere,
unscrew the lug nut.
and they are pumping their fist. They're like, "Fuck yeah, PFT had a kidney stone."
Who's your worst enemy?
My biggest hater?
No, your worst enemy that you said.
Oh, my worst enemy.
Upon whom you would wish kidney stones.
Who would be my worst enemy in the entire world?
Lee Corso.
Lee Corso's not my enemy. He's America's friend. He's America's grandfather. I don't know if I have a worst enemy that I could actually put my finger on, like somebody that I can't stand, where it's like on sight if I see him.
Yeah, you're too likable, dog. You know what I mean? Like,
No, that has nothing to do with me. I'm talking about like the person I hate the most.
That's what I'm saying. You're too likable. Like, you're a likable guy, so nobody is gonna say anything out of spite towards you.
Probably
you know
Hank.
Like, you're a likable guy.
I think it's probably Hank.
Huh?
Probably Hank. Yeah,
You want him to get kidney stones? That's crazy.
I think it'd be good for the vibes. I mean, I would have to look at like rivals, mostly sports rivals. That was not a Freudian slip about Brandon Walker.
Wow.
Although Brandon with the kidney, he would just like cease to exist if he had kidney stone. He would just walk into the lake like a Shakespearean actress and just be like, "Well, we had a good run here. Time for me to soak my penis in the lake and lower it down to my head and then suck in nature's moss." And then he would die.
Okay.
Tom,
I had an actual minor one, but now, I mean, y'all have...
No, let's do some minor ones because you're right. These aren't major ones.
Well, she said my worst enemy, so it's like she put that evil on me. I didn't.
I hope if your cell phone battery can't hold a charge.
Ooh, good one.
That's a great one. Yeah. Oh, have you ever had, if we sticking with phones, where like the text, like you're in the middle of a text and it just like the keypad freezes on one letter blown up or something like that? Just it does that in the middle of every sentence you type.
That's a good one. Also, your phone. I hope your phone stops charging in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm. And then your alarm doesn't go
Your
off.
cord goes bad in the middle of the night, and you wake up with like 2% battery.
I like that.
I think if you run out of toilet paper every time you sit down and no one's home.
Mm-hmm.
I would argue that's not minor.
Really?
I mean, it obviously is, but I think that's particularly
You gotta walk around with shitty booty going
cruel
to
and
get the new roll.
unusual.
I hope everything you order on an app is missing one ingredient.
So I was going to say every time you order at a restaurant, there's something minorly wrong with it.
Yeah, that would drive you nuts. That's a good one.
Because by the 5th time, you're just ready to punch somebody.
Mm-hmm. I hope there's a smell in your house and you can't figure out where that smell's coming from.
I've had that happen. Brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal.
I hope that when you turn on your streaming service app, the audio cuts out.
That's good. I hope that you never get a parking spot in your first pass through a lot.
Damn.
I hope your remote is out of or your batteries and your remote are dead, and then you don't have any batteries, and the store's closed. It's 11:30 p.m.
That's a good one.
Or your smoke detector always needs its battery
Mm-hmm.
changed.
Yeah. Yep.
Good one.
That's a good one.
I hope you got that itch in the middle of your back in the middle of the night, and you don't have nobody to scratch it for you.
I hope one eye is kind of blurry for the first hour after you wake up every day.
Every night you are cold enough to know that you're cold, but not awake enough to like do something about it.
You can't get the temperature right.
Yeah, awake enough to know that you're cold.
I hope every house you live in has shower pressure that is just a little bit too low.
Oh.
And you can't figure it out.
I hope you have an amazing dinner and you're comfortable sitting on the moment you're the most comfortable, you got the bubble guts.
I hope
that's not minor.
Yeah, no.
I agree.
I hope you go lay down in bed after a really long day at work and there's crumbs, but you can't figure out where the crumbs are.
Oh,
fuck that.
You gotta sit here and fucking
But then they're knocking out.
What about have to wear jeans every day for the rest of your life?
That's a bad one.
Yeah.
It's a bad one. I hope you can never find scissors when you're trying to open up that specific packaging that comes in that like hard plastic that you always try to pull apart with your
Had one of
hands.
those the other day.
And you get a cut on your hand because you try to pull it apart too hard. You can just never find your scissors.
It's that John Smoltz figurine up there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was macrodosing. We will see you guys on Thursday.
I took a Wu-Tang turn.
Love you guys. Oh, yeah. Feeding you and feeding you and feeding you.
Yeah, my dog.
Torture.